Donald Trump's bold move on Gaza refugees during Netanyahu's visit. What's next for U.S.-Middle East relations? In a move that stunned the world, President Donald Trump unveiled a controversial new plan during his meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, one that could reshape the future of the Middle East. At the heart of this plan is the proposed resettlement of Palestinian refugees from Gaza into neighboring Arab countries, a decision that is already sparking heated debates across the globe. In this video, we'll break down the details of Trump's latest announcement, the strategic significance of this plan, and what it means for U.S. foreign policy in the region. But that's not all. Trump's bold moves didn't stop there. The president also revealed that the United States would be withdrawing from the UN Human Rights Council and suspending vital funding to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA, a move that will have profound implications for Palestinian refugees. Additionally, Trump and Netanyahu held high-stakes talks at the White House, discussing critical topics such as the ongoing ceasefire efforts with Hamas in Gaza, the looming threats posed by Iran, and the shifting dynamics of the U.S.-Saudi Arabia relationship. Stay with us as we explore the key points from this groundbreaking meeting and the potential fallout from these bold decisions. President Donald Trump's recent meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House set the stage for several significant announcements and decisions, each with the potential to impact the Middle East and global politics. One of the most notable revelations came during Trump's address, where he introduced a new proposal aimed at addressing the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Trump's plan centers around the relocation of Palestinian refugees from Gaza to neighboring Arab countries, a move that is already generating both praise and criticism from various international actors. The president suggested that the resettlement of refugees could alleviate some of the long-standing tensions in Gaza, offering a potential solution to the decades-old refugee crisis that has plagued the region for generations. However, the proposal raises numerous questions about the willingness of Arab nations to accept the refugees, as well as the potential long-term consequences for regional stability. This announcement comes at a time when Gaza remains one of the most contentious issues in Middle Eastern politics. Since the outbreak of the 2008 to 2009 Gaza war, tensions between Israel and Palestinian factions, particularly Hamas, have been on a constant rise. The humanitarian situation in Gaza is dire, with thousands of Palestinians living in overcrowded refugee camps and facing limited access to basic services such as healthcare, education, and employment opportunities. Trump's plan to resettle refugees in Arab countries could potentially shift the focus away from the direct conflict between Israel and Hamas. However, critics argue that this proposal may not solve the core issues at the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. While some Arab nations have expressed interest in hosting Palestinian refugees in the past, others are hesitant, citing concerns over national security, social integration, and political instability. In addition to the Gaza refugee proposal, Trump's visit with Netanyahu also saw significant developments in U.S. foreign policy. One of the most controversial announcements was Trump's decision to pull the United States out of the UN Human Rights Council, an organization that has long been a point of contention between the U.S. and its allies. The president criticized the council for its perceived bias against Israel and its failure to address human rights abuses in countries like Iran and North Korea. By withdrawing from the council, Trump has once again signaled his administration's commitment to a more unilateral foreign policy approach, one that prioritizes American interests and allies, rather than engaging in multilateral diplomacy. Another major decision that accompanied this shift was the suspension of U.S. funding to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA. This move has drawn sharp criticism from various international organizations and human rights groups, who argue that the loss of funding will exacerbate the dire conditions faced by Palestinian refugees. UNRWA provides vital services to millions of Palestinian refugees, including education, healthcare, and food assistance. Without this funding, Many of these refugees may face even more severe hardship, potentially fueling further instability in the region. The announcement came on the heels of Trump and Netanyahu's talks regarding a series of urgent geopolitical issues. One of the key topics on the table was the ongoing ceasefire efforts with Hamas in Gaza. While a fragile truce has held in recent months, the situation remains volatile, with occasional flare-ups of violence. Trump and Netanyahu discussed the importance of maintaining the ceasefire, as well as the broader goal of securing long-term peace in Gaza. However, the path to peace remains unclear, as both sides continue to accuse each other of violating the terms of previous agreements. Iran also featured prominently in the discussions, with both leaders reaffirming their commitment to addressing the growing threat posed by Tehran's nuclear ambitions and its involvement in regional conflicts. Trump's administration has long been critical of Iran's actions in the Middle East, particularly its support for militant groups like Hezbollah and its ongoing involvement in the Syrian civil war. Trump and Netanyahu have expressed a shared desire to prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons, a stance that will likely continue to shape U.S. foreign policy in the region for the foreseeable future. Finally, Trump and Netanyahu discussed the changing dynamics of U.S. relations with Saudi Arabia. The U.S. has long maintained a strategic partnership with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, particularly in relation to countering Iran's influence in the region. However, recent events, including the assassination of journalist Jamal Khashoggi and ongoing human rights concerns in the kingdom, have put a strain on the relationship. While Trump and Netanyahu have both emphasized the importance of maintaining strong ties with Saudi Arabia, the future of this alliance remains uncertain as international scrutiny of the kingdom continues to grow. As Trump and Netanyahu concluded their discussions, the world was left to digest the implications of their decisions: the proposed resettlement of Palestinian refugees, the U.S. withdrawal from the UN Human Rights Council, and the suspension of funding to UNRWA represent significant shifts in U.S. foreign policy, each with the potential to alter the course of Middle Eastern geopolitics for years to come. As the situation in Gaza and the broader region continues to evolve, these developments will undoubtedly shape the future of international diplomacy and the delicate balance of power in the Middle East. President Donald Trump's meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has sent shockwaves through the international community, with several bold decisions announced that could dramatically alter the landscape of Middle Eastern politics. At the forefront of these decisions is Trump's proposal to resettle Palestinian refugees from Gaza into neighboring Arab countries, a move that has sparked both praise and controversy. While this plan could offer a potential solution to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, it remains uncertain whether Arab nations will be willing to accept the refugees, and whether it will address the underlying causes of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Equally significant is Trump's decision to withdraw the United States from the UN Human Rights Council, a move that underscores his administration's shift towards a more unilateral foreign policy. By suspending U.S. funding to UNRWA, Trump has also dealt a significant blow to the services provided to Palestinian refugees, further complicating the already dire humanitarian situation in the region. Trump and Netanyahu's discussions also focused on key geopolitical issues, including the ceasefire with Hamas in Gaza, the threat posed by Iran, and the evolving U.S.-Saudi Arabia relationship. As tensions in the Middle East continue to rise, these decisions will likely have lasting consequences for the region's stability and the U.S.'s role in shaping its future. In conclusion, the bold moves made by Trump and Netanyahu represent a new chapter in U.S. foreign policy, one that is likely to reverberate across the globe. As the situation in Gaza and the broader Middle East evolves, the international community will be closely watching to see how these decisions play out in the coming months and years. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay updated on the latest developments in international politics. What are your thoughts on Trump's decisions regarding Gaza refugees and U.S. involvement in the Middle East? Share your comments below and join the conversation.